Hello, instructor Andrea Macron. I believe I'm saying your name right. If I'm not, I apologize. This video is for the assignment U.S. Education Today and Tomorrow. You gave us 6 topics to choose from. You told us to choose 4 from the 6. So the 4 I'm choosing is increased choice and privatization of education. That's 1. 2 is high school reform. Number 3 is increased reliance of technology in the classroom. Number 4 is increased globalization. And I chose to add a 5th one because I felt like it was necessary to discuss is segregated and upset culture within the school system. The first one I'm going to be discussing is increased choice in education. That has a lot to do with the vouchers. I believe it's very beneficial for all students and parents to have vouchers, especially for the low income students and families. Number one, I believe when children and their parents have choices, they perform better. I believe they perform better because they just have a choice. They have a choice of where they get educated and they get to feel the environment of each facility they get to choose from. And so when a student and parent has a choice in that sense, I believe it benefits. It benefits the child psychological wise. They feel like, yes, I can do it. I get to choose where I'm going to be educated and what I like to be educated on, what subjects in school I would like to be educated at. For example, a lot of charter schools in my area, I'm a substitute teacher at one of the charter schools. They offer specific schools for the kids and children's interests. Like sometimes the kids are better at sports. There's a sports charter school, and then it's an arts charter school, it's technology charter. Just a lot, whatever the kids are interested in. So yeah, I believe charter schools are very beneficial. And on top of that, a lot of wherever, if you're living in a school district, within a school district, in Stockton, California, you have to pay an extra $10,000 just to live within the dimensions of a school district. So even with that, I believe when the taxpayers see, especially if they have children, if they see where their money's going, they're more happier citizens. And that's just to me that it's fair. It's fair. So yes, I love school vouchers, and I believe it's very beneficial to the community and the students. The second topic is high school reform. They said many people in the U.S. feel high schools are not collectively producing graduates who are ready for college or the workforce. I can't necessarily blame that on the schools because, especially in today's society, it depends on where the child wants to work, and the parents more so have to be on top of it. And I do believe if the school district is kind of the parent and the student feel like they're wasting their time at a school, I don't. I do believe they could make some changes, which goes back to the topic number one, vouchers and all that. The child and the parent needs to have a choice. And do I believe schools and the staff and the districts need to be accountable if a student's not producing or is not being a productive student to become an adult in the workforce somewhat, especially if they're, in which they are, especially if they're getting paid and they're taking the time with the student and the parents. So yes, I do believe to an extent they're responsible, but not all the way responsible. And a lot of people feel like the children aren't getting the skills they need from the schools. Do I believe the curriculum should change? Maybe. Because of what instance? Because I don't know exactly where certain statistics are coming from. So if they feel like a student's not skilled enough in technology, which I find hard to believe because this world is right now, technology is the head and the youth are really on that. So I don't exactly know. Maybe it's mannerisms, maybe it's presentation. And if that's the case, if the students not ready within their mannerisms or presentation of how they look, they should change the curriculum, offer those type of classes. It's not that hard. So again, it's kind of tit for tat with the parents and the school. Number 3 topic is increased reliance of technology in the classroom. And that's why I said, it's going back to topic number two. That's why I said it's more about the parents, because right now technology is ruling our workforce. And if that's the case, which I believe is the case, I believe these students are more than equipped for that type of workforce. Um, Even in the classrooms right now, I'm at a co-op, cafe co-op. This is one of the founding members, and this is largely it's a opportunity kind of promotion thing for entrepreneurs. Right, and even we use technology. Like right now, next to me is this thing. It's a holder, it's a tablet holder. So we have an event and people want to know what it's about, but we can't really talk to them one on one. They could be able to put the tablet. We could be able to put a tablet in here, and they could kind of scroll and see what the event's about, or just for anything, you know. But technology is taking over the classroom, and as a substitute teacher, also, like something like this. Actually, I find that younger people know how to operate this better than people that are older. That's just what it is, because this is a technology based generation right now. And even in the classrooms, we have a lot of tablets, computers, educational programs that's mainly on the computers and the tablets, and the kids are very receptive to it, and they know how to operate it, and it seems like they're more intrigued when they do those type of assignments. So technology is ruling, and is running, and it's changing the world as we know it. And the kids are really taking over, and I'm very proud of this generation for stepping up and kind of setting the tone for this millennium in technology. So, and going back to number two, because two and three kind of to me correlate. If there's a problem with technology, which is kind of I don't understand, because I see a lot of computers and technology in the classroom today. If anything, I don't think maybe the teachers are equipped enough to explain to the students how to work certain technology or what they want them to learn and get from the technology, because it's a very big generational gap in terms of technology. And going back to one of the topics, students teaching teachers. So, and this is one of the resources we read this week, and it was funny because I remember that from a previous classroom, and I remembered it was for psychology. So his name is Ham Gena. That's the one that introduced it at first. He introduced it between the years 19 in the 19 late 40s, in the late 1940s, or the mid 1950s. It's kind of blurry right now when he did it, but that was introduced way back then. Maybe he had a vision. He understood that eventually America would come to a point where the teachers would have to eventually listen to the students, because there's going to be a very big generational gap, and things are going to kind of get a little haywire if student and teacher don't come together and try to figure out a curriculum that could work. So in technology, in that sense, I believe, especially when it comes to technology, I believe students must somewhat help the teacher out and let the teacher know what they need and how they need to be taught. This could be, of course, dangerous if you don't have trustworthy students, but usually you always have a group of students that you trust and that are trustworthy. And so going to the fourth one, increased globalization. I'm gonna have to give you some statistics, because I did not know America would, by 2050, America's gonna look completely different than what it looks now. And one of the statistics, it said 45% by 2050, 45% of all racial and ethnic groups will increase, except the whites, Caucasian, non-Hispanic. So in that sense, they said education will play a large role in helping students identify themselves within that, but the educational system must change in order to meet the cultural needs of a student. So when we put those statistics together, and there's a lot of statistics that go with that, because even within that, they say right now the dynamics are changing because a lot of the overseas schools and schools that are not American, they are exchanging ideas and educational strategies with America. So I mean everything is correlating. So even going back to topic three, if the teacher listen to the students and just especially the students that are very engaged in worldwide things and exchanging information like that, if this teacher will actually listen and incorporate a lot of the things, international things that a student could give to benefit the classroom and the progress of a district, I don't believe the curriculum would have to shift so much by the time 2050 comes. So if we start working on that now, which some schools are already taking heed to it, and a lot of other districts are trying to catch up, if we just take heed to bringing in a lot of cultures and welcoming the cultures in, and having them somehow just integrate, America could be on its way to being the top country again. That's what I believe. And that even I'm gonna go from there to topic five, a segregated and upset culture. I believe America could have been not only the number one country because we were for a time, but it could have remained for like a landslide a number one country if we gave the people who built this country the proper credit. Because one of the topics we discussed today was the STEM agreement or STEM pact that Obama had with the schools. And STEM is a program to promote technology, science, and math. And I always, even when because when I look at technology and the progress of it, I always think of art because it really is an art process. You have to put a lot of logical things together, logical, whether it be math, science, to create some type of operating or forming masterpiece in some sense. I mean, whether that be the phone, the computer, light bulb, anything, I believe is a form of art. So, and when you look at the great artists and the great inventors of this country, I, I'm just being honest right now, a lot of them are African American, Native American, Asian American, and some Hispanic Americans. And they were never really given the proper dues. And I believe that says a lot about the American culture and how that affected the growth of technology. And one of the conferences in STEM, now I'm quoting, this came from usnews.com. It says STEM experts at a recent symposium on Capitol Hill said diversity is an important aspect of STEM education that needs to be addressed. It says international comparisons place the U.S. in the middle of the pack globally, said Debbie Myers, General Manager of Discovery Communications. Myers said in order for the U.S. to compete in the global market, we need to do a better job of inspiring children to develop that desire for discovery and encourage minorities and girls especially to get involved in STEM. Like I said, minorities have always been, even the ones that are self-taught, they've always been great inventors, great thinkers. Just for example, and I took notes. Some great inventors that I never even heard of, and I had to research myself, was Benjamin Banker. He invented America's first clock. Never knew that. George Alcorn invented the X-ray spectrometer. Dr. Patricia Bass, she invented a laser type surgery to help people with cataracts, and several of her patients who were blind for 30 years regained their sight. I never heard of her. I never heard of her. Otis Boykin created common components and devices that we use today, which includes computer, radios, and TV sets. Components within them. So it's always there are always great inventors that are minorities, and I know a lot of people say that doesn't correlate with how America is falling back in technology and math, but I believe that has everything to do with it. These inventors a lot of times sold their inventions or got their inventions stolen, and I believe that affects the creative process for generations to come. That's just what I believe. And even with the news, and today, it happened on Wednesday. The 9 people got shot in the Pentecostal church, 9 black people. And the gunman said it's because they were black. This is not the first shooting that happened. We know that even in history, we had to fight to even be considered equal. And then when we were considered somewhat equal, we were segregated. And it's just a lot. A lot goes on in America that people don't address, but yet they wonder why we're not progressing like other countries. Not saying other countries don't have problems, but America should be at the top. And a lot of problems that we have, it should have been solved and put behind us a long time ago. And I believe that plays a huge factor, and I keep saying it because I believe it plays a huge factor in why we're not progressing. Um, so that is the end of my video. I'm gonna leave some notes under this video for just for references. But thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it.